This video will discuss connective, muscular, and nervous tissue. The first group of tissue is connective tissue. Connective tissue ranges from bone to blood. It is a diverse group, but the things that this group has in common are that it has specialized cells, protein fibers, and a ground substance that holds these cells and fibers in place. You don't find connective tissue, muscle, or nervous tissue exposed to the outside environment. These tissues are vascular. Connective tissues' function are to support, transport, store things like energy and chemicals, and defend. The first type of connective tissue we'll discuss is loose, or also known as areolar connective tissue. In loose connective tissue, the fibers are not very close together, but you will find all three of the fiber types. You'll see thick collagen fibers, shown here as the thicker pink fibers in the slide. Thinner elastic fibers, they look like the thin strings in the slide. I don't see any reticular fibers on this slide, but you will find some reticular fibers in this tissue type. You'll see in this slide that there is a large adipocyte cell. It looks like an empty circle. That's where the fat would be stored. You find loose connective tissue between the skin and the muscles, around the digestive tract, and around the outside of blood vessels. Its main function is to cushion your organs. Adipose tissue is a type of connective tissue where the main type of cell is an adipocyte. An adipocyte is a cell where it stores fat or lipids in the center in a vacuole. That vacuole fills and pushes most of the cell towards the outside. So all you see on the slide is a very thin purple cell with mostly empty space. That's where the fat is stored inside of the cell. Adipose tissue provides padding, insulation, and is a fat storage center inside the body. You find this beneath your skin, around your eyes, surrounding some of your organs, like your kidneys. Reticular tissue is a type of tissue that provides the framework or foundation for many of the organs in your body, like the liver, or your lymph nodes, or the spleen. Reticular fibers are the main fiber type inside this tissue that provide that network or structure for the organs. In the slide, you can see the purple reticular fibers, or in the microscope slide, they look like dark brown, curly fibers. Dense connective tissue comes in two types, regular and irregular. Both types are made up of long bunches of collagen fibers. You do find fibroblast cells as dark purple ovals in between these collagen bundles. Dense regular connective tissue is made up of collagen bundles where the fibers all run in the same parallel direction. You find dense regular connective tissue in the tendons and ligaments holding muscle to bone and bone to bone. In the microscope slide, the collagen fibers are the thick pink threads that run through the slide. Dense irregular connective tissue has the same collagen fibers in bundles. However, instead of running parallel to each other, these fibers run in various directions, creating a sheet of tissue. You'll find dense irregular connective tissue in the dermis. This is the layer of tissue underneath the stratified squamous epithelium of the epidermis. This gives tension and strength in various directions. The next three slides describe the type of cartilage that we find inside of the body. Hyaline cartilage is found lining the ends of your bones. the trachea, which is your windpipe, your larynx, which is your voice box, and connecting the ribs to your sternum. Hyaline cartilage has a smooth, glassy-looking ground substance. Hyaline means glassy. The chondrocyte cells that you see on the microscope slide do not really secrete any visible fibers into the ground substance. This makes it a very distinctive-looking cartilage. Hyaline cartilage provides a very smooth surface for your bones to glide across at the joints so that the bones don't rub together. The next type of cartilage is fibrocartilage. The chondrocyte cells that you see here on the slide secrete collagen fibers into the ground substance, so this cartilage looks different than hyaline cartilage. You find fibrocartilage in the discs between your vertebrae. They provide support for those bones so that the bones do not rub against each other. This type of cartilage provides strength and support. The last type of cartilage is elastic cartilage. In elastic cartilage, you can see that there are thin elastic fibers that have been secreted into the ground substance. Elastic cartilage is flexible and provides strength, but also maintains the shape of the object. You find elastic cartilage in the outside of your ear and also the epiglottis, which is a structure at the back of your mouth that prevents choking. Go back and compare the three types of cartilage to make sure that you can see the distinct differences in the way that the chondrocytes look and the types of fibers that are secreted. I will very briefly describe bone. We will go more in depth in bone when we go into the skeletal system. Bone is a type of tissue that consists of a calcified matrix. You find osteocytes scattered throughout the osteons, which are the unit for bone, that maintain the health of your bone. There are many blood vessels that extend through narrow cavities in the bone tissue. When you look at bone under the microscope, it looks like the rings of a tree. Make sure that you can identify bone under the microscope. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. It has specialized cells in a fluid matrix. The fluid substance is plasma. There are different types of cells that you find in blood. You find erythrocytes, which are red blood cells, leukocytes, which are white blood cells, and thrombocytes, which are platelets. The main function of blood is to transport substances like gases, nutrients, hormones, and other chemicals throughout the body, to regulate blood chemistry, and to protect the body. We will go more in depth with blood in a later unit. Red blood cells have a distinct donut shape. White blood cells typically have a grainy appearance and are larger than red blood cells. Thrombocytes are very small and are sometimes hard to see on the microscope slides. This image shows the donut-shaped structure of your red blood cells. We'll discuss later in our unit on blood why this structure is so important to the function of blood.